The reason we're here today, we're going to talk about the 21-day close and a little bit about why and how we do this without giving away any of our trade or proprietary secrets. We've had many clients and actually more agents approach us when we've had discussions and casual conversation or business conversations, making the statement, particularly the statement during the purchase process, that we can close on these transactions in 21 days. And usually we'll get a little right, yeah, right, or yeah, wish you could, and little snippets like that. The fact is, we can and we do close in 21 days. In about 6 out of 10 transactions, we can actually do this. It's not 100%, but we can do it in a relatively, 60% is pretty high, and we can do it with relative consistency as well. So I'm going to go over this real briefly with you if you're a client and or one of our future clients and you want to find out about how you can get into a home a little bit quicker. I'm going to explain it to you in broad brush strokes here without giving away any of our proprietary secrets, because that we cannot do, we will not do, but we'll give you the overview of how it's done. So a 21-day close goes like this. Number one, we have to be dealing with the correct lenders that know how to move very quickly and expediently to get the docs drawn, to get all the underwriting issues clean and out of the way as fast as possible. That's number one. We deal with some of the best lenders, mortgage lenders in all of San Diego County, and that's not by mistake or happenstance, that's by intent. So that is one of the primary things that ignites us and gets us off the starting line very quickly. Then we need to be working with the correct escrow and title company that can also move very quickly. Basically, it's a matter of just doing their job and moving at a pace that will keep the transaction moving forward. Most of the title and escrow companies are quite good. We've had challenges with certain ones, so we know which ones to avoid and which ones we like to do business with that can help us and facilitate those 21-day closes. Number three, the loan processor relationship. The relationships that we have and the loan officer has with the loan processors is a make and break to make a 21-day close happen. So that's very important. The underwriter relationships, the relationships we have with underwriters, and we're not talking about breaking any rules or doing anything fishy. We don't do that. We don't ever do that. We will not ever do that. But there's always a way to get things done. And without the relationships of these underwriters and the relationships that we have with the loan processors, it's very difficult because you're just another tree in the forest to them. They have so much business they're trying to transact. So when you have a relationship with these people, they will actually put down what they're doing and they will work on your file. This is huge benefit for our clients that we have these type of relationships in place. The business savvy to get things done and get past challenges that we have to do in our office here is always mission critical. There are certain tripping points and hoops we have to jump through and obstacles we must go around. Every transaction has them. If you don't do them in absolute perfect concert with the timelines, things will go awry. Not only will you not hit your 30-day escrow, you'll exceed and you will blow right past your 30-day escrow and end up in a 45, 60-day escrow situation. That's not very productive, and that's not how we do things here. So our business savvy or savviness to know what to do, when to do, and how to do it also is a significant component in a 21-day close. We know how to focus on our priorities. We know what the priorities are, the specific priorities in detail and in the exact specific sequence of events that we must place our priorities on in order to see our clients to the closing table in 21 days. A moment's notice to respond to things is absolutely 100%. You cannot do the real estate business nor the loan business. We don't do loans here. We only do real estate. You cannot do our business part-time. It is virtually impossible to do. In the good old days, one could do that. And many of the top agents in San Diego that are still around today started out part-time. But if you're with a part-time agent today in this vicious buyer's market, send up the red flares. You're going to have huge problems. You just can't do it very efficiently. It doesn't work. So everyone in our office is full-time. I'm a full-time broker, and this is absolutely necessary to get the offers to the closing table. Get them to the closing table at all, never mind 21 days. So that's very, very important to be able to act in a moment's notice and be available during out the whole entire complete. In our world, it's a 14-hour workday. We don't have 8-hour workdays. It's 14-hour plus workdays here. This is simply what we have to do to serve our clients in highest and best interest. Anybody that tells you the contrary to that is simply not being completely candid and honest with you. This is the market we're in right now. Know what we'll do? I'm going to give you a little bit of an example. We just closed in 21 days a client down in South Bay. This client was going on deployment. It was a military client. They were leaving on an Westpac for 6 months, which ended up being an 8-month deployment. They had 21 days from the day we opened Escrow. We had to get them closed. So we had to push things forward quite quickly for them. And the reason we were able to do that is because of the way we approached it, because our connection with the lenders, as we mentioned, the escrow companies, the loan processors, the underwriters, our business savviness. We had 2 major league, I call hardcore obstacles in this particular transaction, yet we still did it in 21 days. We put the offer in, and then the offer came in. Our offer was $8,000 over the market value. Now, we're very careful not to do that, and we don't try to ever overbid, but we went a little high on this one. Anyways, we got past that in 24 hours. That was the first miracle of this transaction, because typically that's a deal killer. And many agents and brokers out there have had their deals squashed because of that. Well, we know how to get around it. We got past that. The second thing that happened on this transaction, and this is almost a 100% deal killer, once the appraisal was done on this property, and it came out at the appraised value of the adjusted price, of course. So the appraisal was accepted by the bank. Everything was cool. But then there's an NOV, Notice of Value Department. You might want to write that down, the NOV department. The NOV department used to only be for VA-backed loans. Now, conventional, FHA, and VA financing are all going through a NOV, a Notice of Value. And what is that Notice of Value? That Notice of Value is a recheck. In other words, the banks are no longer accepting appraisal values anymore at face value. Ever. Not in this market. And Bank of America happens to be where your loan will end up. Bank of America has a big NOV department, and they've kind of become a clearinghouse in San Diego. So more chances than not, but not 100%, but more chances than not, your loan, your transaction will end up being hopscotched over the Bank of America. That appraisal is going to be picked down and nitpicked. On this particular transaction, to get to the bottom line here, that happened. It went over to Bank of America. It went back to the lender again, and Bank of America said, oh, well, that appraisal is not valid. We're going to knock 12, you should, to the lender that was lending the actual money on this mortgage for the VA, for the vet, said the property is worth 12% less than the appraisal. 12%. So when we started in the offer to where we actually got the bank to say we'll lend on you, we had a $50,000 discrepancy. We're only talking about a $308,000 house. That's a huge, massive dollar amount. That's a huge percentage. Massive. 99.999999% of these deals would have crashed and burned, no recovery. We got past it. I went to task immediately, personally, me. I had to jump on this one very quickly, and I was dealing with these clients anyways as the broker directly. And I sent a 53-page response to the underwriter verifying, validating all of the points of that neighborhood, all of the points of the market conditions, all of the points of the comp properties in that area, and with a massive amount of fundamental information and data that was pulled from reliable sources. And within 24 hours, we were past that as well. We went right to the closing table, got through all those obstacles, and we closed in 21 days with 2 potential deal-killing situations. It's called experience. It's called knowledge. It's called comprehension, knowing what you're doing in the business and knowing what to do, when to do, and how to do it. So can we do a 21-day close? Yes. 6 out of 10 transactions we do are 21-day closes. And hopefully we can bring you to a 21-day close as well. Feel free to call me. My name is Robert Chartier. You can reach me at 858-273-1233. 1861. I'd be glad to work with you, and I hope to talk to you soon. Take care and have a great day.